Whoa. That's better. Welcome to Brave New Radio. Veronica Santa Monica here, and we've got an amazing show for you this week. First up, some live music from a new band on Chaos Columbia called Mother May I.
Yes, you may, Veronica. Sierra Bonita here. After that, we'll check out Sin. They have a new CD on Clearview Records.
And then we'll end up the show with some flammable liquids. You gotta stick around and check that out. But first, let's hear from Mother May I.
Yes, you may.
Some clothes, or maybe make my bed. But it's so peaceful, just lying here instead. Yeah, the phone is off the hook, and I can finish up my book. You're envious of me, 'cause I got nothing to do. Nothing to do, nothing to do, nothing to do, whoa, yeah, whoa, right, whoa, yeah, whoa, right.
It's Veronica Santa Monica on Brave New Radio. And with me I have Mother May I. All three of them.
That is correct.
Tell us who you are, Mother May I number one.
Well, my name is Dave Swafford, and I play bass guitar, electric bass guitar.
And an interesting fact about yourself.
Interesting fact about myself? Everybody thinks I'm Indian.
There you go.
My name is Rob Laborde. I play drums and sing backing vocals.
And you also sing Cheap Trick covers.
Yes.
Very
exactly.
well, thank you.
Thank you.
And interesting fact about yourself.
My mom was a rockette.
Really?
How's that? I don't know.
That's kind of neat. Now you have to make something up on the spot.
I'm Damon Hennessy, and I play guitar and sing.
Anything interesting about you?
And he has a cat named G. Gordon Kitty.
I got asthma.
Do you really have a cat named G. Gordon Kitty?
Yeah, my cat has a lot of names, but G. Gordon's the one that I really has been sticking lately.
So you are out here in Los Angeles promoting your new 5-song EP.
That's right.
Promoting our 5-song EP, yes.
And that went out to college radio this September?
I think it went out. They did a mailing like mid-August or something, but the kids just got back, so yeah. It's just starting to get some airplay and stuff.
How's the feedback you're getting on it?
So far, good. I mean,
any of your parents now no longer claim you as sons or anything?
No, our folks are cool about it. So far, it's going good. We're selling some units, and we're out right now on tour with the Judybats. And initially, we thought, well, sometimes audiences don't really dig you because, well, they came to see the headliners and they don't care about the opening band. And we thought this, we might have some nights where it didn't go so great. But so far, every show has been really good. We've had really supportive people. We've been selling CDs at the show, and people are buying them, and people are really friendly and coming up and saying good show or whatever.
The king said, get me a drink. The queen thought, well, who the hell she think I am? She stands over the sink and fetching the ice for her old man. She read last week in Cosmo, when you're 40 you've hit your peak. She doesn't believe much what she reads. That thought stays in her head. It's quite a sight to see. It's the king and his court watching car crushing trucks on TV. Come Saturday Eve, yeah, well the queen's off in the bedroom in her own land. She's putting on her makeup in her favorite party dress. She daydreams when she wakes up she'll be out of this whole mess. She'll be sitting pretty. She'll be sitting pretty. She'll be sitting pretty. Sitting pretty. She feels the cracks around her eyes. They cover up like little eyes. Little eyes so long ago. Those little perfect lies. She tosses and turns in the bed. She can't make a peep, so she tilts back the tears and she remembers what he said. Well, you're a vision of beauty and truth. I love you and you spend your life with me, and I'll make a happy girl out of you. You just wait and see. We'll be sitting pretty. We'll be sitting pretty. We'll be sitting pretty. Sitting pretty. She feels the cracks around her eyes. They cover up like little eyes. Little eyes of long ago. She's sitting pretty. She's sitting pretty. She's sitting pretty. Sitting pretty. She's sitting pretty. She's sitting pretty. She's sitting pretty. She's sitting pretty.
We're definitely bi-coastal right
Dave's
now.
the new guy in the band. He's from Seattle, and he lives in Seattle now. And he's been in the band for what, like 5 months or something?
I've been in the band since March.
Now, how did that transition take place? Because you were in Best Kissers in the World.
I was
And
in the
now
Best
you're doing
Kissers in the World, and last October, November, we did a U.S. tour, and we got over to the East Coast, and we were doing like a U.S. tour, and it was us and the Chainsaw Kittens. And then we arrived in Raleigh, North Carolina, and there's this band, Mother May I, and they're like, hey, we're playing 7 shows with you guys. And it's like no one told us anything about it. You know, we're like, well, who are these guys, you know? And we played like 7 shows with them, and then that's how I met Damon and Rob. And they used to compliment me every night. They used to pester me and say, man, you rock. And I said, well, that's good. That's great, you know. And we like exchanged phone numbers and kept in touch. And things weren't really working out for me. I kind of like, you know, grew disinterested in the best kissers in the world, and I was thinking about getting a job pumping gas or something. And they gave me a friendly phone call one day, and they like heard I wasn't playing in the band anymore, and they said, you know, well, why don't you fly out and audition for us at least? And so, you know, we took it from that step, and I guess that explains it in a nutshell, I guess.
And they don't have to get used to learning a new name,
That's right.
because your old bass player was
Our
also
last
a
guy
Dave.
is named Dave.
Well, now I have to just go around and explain the name Mother May I, you know, which is like, you know, not nearly as bad as going around explaining the name Best Kissers in the World, so.
Now, you obviously prefer playing in trios.
I prefer playing in trios.
Are all of you that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, last band we were in together, me and Damon were in a band before this, and it was a 4-piece. And it was just, you know, one more guy and one more pair of smelly feet, and, you know.
The way
A lot
we
of
figure it, like, you know, as a trio, we each get like $5 more.
With just 2 bags of cigarettes each?
Yeah, a case of beer splits up into 8 instead of 6, which is, you know, I mean, those extra 2 beers sometimes are nice.
It's
No,
nice to have the room, you know, musically.
La 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 la. I've done the dishes in the sink, and I don't need the time to think that I got nothing left to lose. Now I'm polishing my shoes, so clean, and I'm so in between. La 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 la. My mother called the other day. I couldn't bring myself to say, don't wanna break her little heart or tear her perfect world apart at the seams, 'cause I'm so in between. La 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 la. In between, when I don't know if I'm coming or going. In between, every day I want something new. In between, when I don't know if I'm coming or going. In between. I've written letters to my friends. I don't have the heart to send, 'cause I don't want their wives to read what I've turned out to be. Ooh, so goddamn in between. La 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 la. La 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 la.
We try to exploit the fact that we have one guitar instead of like trying to fill in the gaps. You know, sometimes gaps are cool, you know, and we try to work with that, you know, and make it happen. I mean, we've always, you know, had the attitude like, well, you know, if we found the perfect guy, we'd get another. If we were just at the right point in our careers, we're like, let's get another guy. Let's change it up, you know. So we're not like writing that off. But I mean, it's hard to find. We've been through a lot of bass players, and it's hard to find the right people to be in a 3-piece band. But to have another guy is like, you know, man, it's a lot of work.
What is Crackpot?
Crackpot is an indie label out of Minneapolis.
Oh, really?
And yeah, what happened was Sony gave us some demo, some finances to do some demos with. And the guy, Benji Gordon from Sony, said, you know, you should send a copy of this to this guy, Dave Bilgen, in Minneapolis. So we sent Dave a copy of a bunch of songs we'd done. And Dave was like, well, what's going to happen with you guys? And Sony were like, I don't know. We just did demos for him. It doesn't mean anything. There's no commitment. He goes, well, I want to put this stuff out. I want to put out some of your stuff. So Dave, we had struck up a handshake deal with Dave where it was like, well, he's going to put a record out of ours. And if something happens with Sony, that'd be great, And if it doesn't happen, well, we'll do a record for Crackpot. So the Crackpot EP came together, and by the time it was ready to go or whatever, and we had solidified our little handshake deal with Dave, Sony was ready to sign us, so it kind of worked out nice,
And Ted nicely stopped in and did a couple tracks for you.
Ted did some producing on the EP, and we did a couple of songs at a friend of ours' 8-track studio in his basement, our buddy Mike Harvey, from a band called the High Llamas in D.C. Mike has a little studio, so we did some songs there too, which is neat, The EP has it's got a few different sounds to it, so it's kind of cool,
That's why there's a cover of Never My Love on this thing that was recorded on 8-track.
That's
It's
hilarious.
not intended for anyone to hear.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
And but at the time, no, it wasn't limiting. It was
fun. It was it was kind of cool,
I mean, you do everything live, basically. You do all the basic tracks live, and you overdub vocals.
And you're not stressed out about oh wow, what are people going to think? It's like, we're doing this for our own fun. Let's try a slide guitar solo. Let's try hand claps or something like that.
It's
Stuff
a
that we
bigger
don't
nightmare
usually
to do a record on 24 tracks. It's so much.
Yeah.
It's so many more headaches. The more involved you get, the more difficult it becomes. And
yeah.
That's why it was fun for us to come in here and play live, because after doing our record, it's just
you forget how much fun it can be
live.
sometimes.
You're turning, I'll be
You know, just that whole thing of like wattage and speakers. And I was like, yeah, man, when you learn how to play, it's unbelievable. Or even if you don't know how to play, but if you're doing it, you know, it's intense.
Do you all remember the first song you wrote?
Yeah, I do. As a band or like
No,
as...
just you yourself. Do you remember the first piece of music you wrote or the first song you helped create?
Yeah, and other bands you're talking
Yeah.
about.
I mean, just the first time in your life you wrote something that was yours.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Do you think that you still have the same feeling of, wow, when you put together a song as a band?
I have a totally
Probably
different
not,
feeling.
because the song you probably put together back then was probably god awful.
I think
It's still
it was exciting. It was really exciting back then, and I still get really excited when we come up with something that, you know, I think we have a lot of great songs, and
Yeah.
and some of them we came up, it was like a real collaborative effort, and to me that's like so exciting.
Did you listen to a lot of college radio when you were younger?
Well, me and Damon both did radio shows in college.
Oh, really?
Did you?
Yeah, they did radio
No, I
shows.
didn't. No.
We were talking about this the other night, though. We basically, all of us, went through the same phases of, like, what bands we were into. Like, when we were kids, it was, like, Cheap Trick and the Beatles. And then we all got into, like, what was the next phase after that? It would have been, like, the Skinny Tie thing.
The Skinny Tie
The Beat
thing,
and the
like
Police
Twin
and
Souls and 2020.
Long Riders and all this.
Long
The first wave of,
Riders and
American alternative.
Replacements and Soul Asylum.
Sure.
And,
Husker.
like all, like, you know, Scruffy the Cat and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Well, where punk rock, new wave, and rock just started
Kinda
to
fell together,
squish.
yeah.
I'd say like all three of us are all in agreement, you know, as
Yeah.
far as like influences we've had over the years. Like we were all into the like American guitar rock thing.
There's enough writing material with, like, a circle of, like, 10 people that, you know, there's enough songs to be written that to go on forever, you know?
Yeah.
Because every second of every day is like something is happening that's affecting you, you know what I mean? And try to, like, get a hold of that and turn it into something, you know?
Well, I think that
And
that
it's hard
is-
to do. It's hard to, like, it's hard to take something so gigantic and crush it down into a little 3-minute thing, you know? But that's a challenge, you know?
That's a great point, because I think that a lot of people are worried about, oh my God, I have laundry at home, but they don't want to say that because
Right.
it doesn't
It seems like
look like
self-centered or
a
something.
concern, when yeah, it is, because
Yeah.
I don't have any damn socks
Right.
left. But you're trying to pretend you're politically correct or whatever.
You know? Well, I mean,
You know, I mean, quite honestly, I think 9 out of 10 Americans are a lot more concerned with stuff like you said,
Right.
is my car running, is my rent paid, than what's going on in Bosnia.
yeah, I mean, you play me like "Here Comes the Regular" by the Replacements, and it's like, just it freaks me out. But I don't have any, like, I hear "We Are the World" and I'm like, we're not the world, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
I
And
don't-
you're also
it doesn't
putting a
do
Band-Aid
anything
on
for
a
me
gunshot.
personally. Yeah, exactly. But that's my own opinion. You know, there's other people that, you know, Peter Gabriel or whatever has these gigantic issues he wants to attack, and that's fine because I think somebody should do it. I
think
don't want to.
Some people do it really well. Like
Some
I
people
think
do.
Midnight Oil is really great.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just not what, you know. Damon writes from, like, you know, what he feels.
Time is moving slow, but never quite as slow as it moves now. And I guess I'm moving slow.
thank you for coming and talking and
Thanks.
playing.
Thanks
thank
for
you
having
very
us.
much.
Yeah,
We were
it was
lucky
fun.
we could get you guys in. It was hard to do.
It was fun. We had a
Keep
good
an eye out for the CD coming out in
That's right.
January
Cool.
on Chaos Columbia.
And if
Listen
you're a
to
college
Rob.
radio programmer, don't steal it so that it can be played.
Exactly. And right now you can go out and buy the EP. It's called Use Your Appetite for Spaghetti.
Great cover. Thanks, guys.
The following is a list of 5 books that somebody in the United States tried to ban or censor and the reason they were singled out. Catch-22 by Joseph Heller in 1979 because of references to women as whores. Brave New World by Aldous Huxley in 1952 on grounds of obscenity. A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess in 1982 due to objectionable language. The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald in 1987 because of language and sexual references. 1984 by George Orwell in 1984 because it was considered pro-communist and that it contained explicit sexual matter. This bit of information brought to you by Mystery Twins Productions, their engineer Randy Peckage, and Weapon of Choice.